Welcome to Review Journal's Sports Betting Spotlight on the Super Bowl. We're here at the Palm Sportsbook with handicapper Bernie Fratto and ESPN 1100 radio host and CG Technology Sportsbook Vice President Matt Holt. The line on the game here is the Patriots by 4.5 over the Eagles, and the total is 48. Bernie, who do you like in this one?
You know, on his deathbed, W.C. Fields once said, all things equal, I'd rather be in Philadelphia. I think maybe he meant all things equal, I'd rather be on Philadelphia. I know I'm going to be the lone dog here, so let's roll with it. Let's start with the technical factors because I've already grabbed the points and the Eagles. Teams that win their AFC or NFC championship game outright as dogs going to be 9-2 in the Super Bowl straight up. Add to that the fact Philadelphia is 8-1 this year against the number against teams above 500. So let's start there. But here's what really got me on the Eagles. The Pats are 5-2 under the Tom Brady era in Super Bowls. Their only two losses, of course, to the New York Giants and the dreaded pass rush. I really like this Eagles front four. They're not going to blitz Brady. No one can get away with blitzing Brady because he gets the ball out of his hand too quick. But the Eagles have the kind of physicality on defense to win their one-on-one battles in pass protection. I look for them to pressure Brady. The Pats have given up 43 sacks this year. They're going to get to him. They're going to hit him early and often, disrupt him the best they can. They'll make enough plays on offense. I like the Eagles plus the points.
All right, W.C. Fields reference. I like it. Matt, who do you like?
I'm going with the Patriots here, and I think everything's set up perfectly for the Philadelphia Eagles last week. The Minnesota Vikings coming off that historic come-from-behind victory on the last play, the touchdown pass to Stefon Diggs, and I remember that week on Tuesday morning after that game listening to a radio interview at Case Keenum where the interviewer asked Case Keenum, how much sleep have you gotten this week coming off that huge comeback win? He said, I still haven't slept more than 2 hours. Look, Minnesota couldn't rebound from the emotional, massive high they went through in the comeback win over the New Orleans Saints, and they came out flat against the Philadelphia Eagles as we saw last week. But if we look beyond the Minnesota game where Nick Foles had his best game as a Philadelphia Eagle, at least in the second go-around, we saw a team that failed to even score a touchdown against the Atlanta Falcons, scored 0 points against the Dallas Cowboys, and 10 at home against the Oakland Raiders. I'm not sold on Nick Foles. I know people like to bet what they saw last, and what they saw last was a Nick Foles on fire and a New England team struggling against the Jacksonville Jaguars defense in the playoffs, but is that really a surprise? The one kryptonite to Tom Brady has been Tom Coughlin-based teams, Tom Coughlin-based defenses. I think this week, a vulnerable Philadelphia Eagles pass defense gets shredded up by Tom Brady and the Patriots. I think they win this one by double digits.
Matt, I like the way you think. Before now, you're the first person I've encountered that likes the Patriots. Everybody loves the Eagles, and you know how that usually works. So it kind of reminds me earlier this season, the Bills were a hugely popular home dog against the Saints. Saints beat them 47-10. That was Drew Brees against Tyrod Taylor. Now we have Brady against Nick Foles. The Philadelphia stock is at its highest it's been since Carson Wentz went down. Foles with the game of his life against the Vikings, and the Patriots in life and death against Jacksonville without Gronk. I'll sell the Eagles here and take Belichick and Brady with 2 weeks to prepare against a pair of backup quarterbacks in Foles and Coach Doug Peterson. Philly's pass defense, as you said, vulnerable, especially against tight ends, and Gronk will be back in there. Eli Manning averaged 400 yards passing and 3 touchdowns in 2 games against the Eagles this year. What's Tom Brady going to do when he's playing for the pride of his daughter?
Oh boy, so for the first time in 17 years and 7 Super Bowls, the New England Patriots are going to not only win, which they have done a lot, but they're going to win by more than 3 points, which they haven't done. As a matter of fact, even if you factor in last year's goofball debacle, the average margin of victory in a Patriots Super Bowl, win or lose, is 4.1 points. One of us will be happy this weekend, guys.
They did win by 6 points last year, Bernie.
I not only saw it, I read about it in all the papers.
I know. That's what I was going to say.
It's a plug for you there,
That's what I was going to say. They haven't won any Super Bowl by more than 6 points, by 3 and 4 points. But this is the one I think they're going to finally get some breathing room. They've covered the last 13 games, favored by 7 points or less, 28-8 when they have an extra week to prepare. And the Patriots are going to finally avoid Super Bowl drama and win this one by double digits. That's our spotlight on the Super Bowl.